The things we were talking about today is how we were excited to finally have an opportunity to know that there's some good news for some of those families they've been in pain since October 7th when their loved ones were stolen. Hamas has not been forthright with details on these hostages. So what do you think we'll see today?
Well, you can never know with a group of terrorists like Hamas. So let me just give you a picture of what happened today. The ceasefire was supposed to start at 7 in the morning. At 7:15, we had a barrage of rockets falling into the south of Israel from Hamas. This is how they start their ceasefire. The hostages and the deal was meant to have been in place and started yesterday. But yesterday, the whole day, they tried to change the terms of the deal, which had already been approved, so that the International Red Cross does not have access to the rest of the hostages that they're holding in the Gaza Strip. So this is a terrorist, barbaric terrorist group that is constantly, cruelly playing not just regular war and war crimes, but psychological warfare with Israel and its government.
And Fleur, even yesterday when we saw the spokesperson for Qatar, Dr. Ansir, he talked about how the negotiation process has been one that has been back and forth. However, we have noticed that Israelis have not lost hope in thinking that some of their loved ones may come home. You've raised questions over whether Hamas even knows where all these hostages are being held. How concerned are you that other terror groups may have taken some of those Israelis?
Well, we already know for sure that Islamic Jihad have taken some of the terrorists. We don't know anything. We also don't know which ones of the hostages are even alive. We haven't had proof of life. None of the rules have applied here of anything. And it's very frustrating, very painful. Even today, when we're supposed to be seeing 13 children and mothers come home as the beginning of this deal unrolls, we don't know anything. We don't know who they are. Their families have been informed. We don't know if it's actually going to happen until it happens. You're talking about a group that cannot be trusted, have no word. Remember that on the 7th of October, they broke the ceasefire that was there the day before that had been in place since last year. And so there are no rules here. We're talking about a very cruel entity, and we're praying that some of the hostages come home, but we're far from the end of this very, very horrific story for so many families in Israel.
Fleur, I have about a minute left, but I have to ask you, beyond breaking that ceasefire that you just mentioned, it was more extreme than that, actually going into kibbutz and taking people who have nothing to do with Israeli defense, innocent civilians. Jerusalem will be playing a major role in this prisoner swap as the Palestinian prisoners will be taken there. And to the West Bank, what will that look like?
Well, we're fighting a war on many fronts at the moment. So we're fighting the war in Gaza. We're also in the north with Hezbollah constantly throwing missiles and constantly threatening that they're going to start a war. And then, of course, we've got the Hamas and radical elements in the West Bank and some sleeper cells of Hamas and radical elements in the city of Jerusalem, which killed a young woman soldier a week and a half ago. And so we have to be vigilant of all fronts. The problem with this prisoner deal is that the 150 prisoners that have been released were all people who attempted to kill Israelis. We have people who tried to shoot, who stabbed a mother in front of her 2 children. And what's really disturbing is that some of these people being released are going to go back to live next to the people that they tried to kill. So the situation is very, very tense.
Fleur, Hassan-Nahoum, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I understand how stressful this situation is, but we are wishing the best for every Israeli and their loved ones.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.